Hello students, welcome to revision summary part 12 of unit 8 of management. This is the last part of unit 8 and in this part we will cover operation management part 2 and we will basically talk about the quality management techniques in this part. As I told you in the last video that from the entire operation management part you can expect 2 to 4 questions. The expected marks will be 2 to 4 and the difficulty level will range from easy to difficult. From this part also, that is quality management technique, you can definitely expect at least 1 to 2 questions. So we will start with scheduling. Scheduling means arranging. Scheduling is the process of arranging, controlling and optimizing work and workloads in a production process. Companies use backward and forward scheduling to allocate plant and machinery resources, plant production process and purchase materials. So there are basically two types of scheduling technique. One is backward scheduling, another is forward scheduling. What are these two techniques? Forward scheduling is planning the task from the date resources become available to determine the shipping date or the due date. So what we do when resources are available to us, then as per the availability of the resources, we will determine the shipping date or the completion date of the order. Okay. Then backward scheduling is, it is planning the task from the due date or required by date to determine the start date and or any changes in capacity required. So we consider the due date, that is the date on which we have to dispatch the or we have to complete the order. Then accordingly we determine the start date, that is if on a particular date an order has to be completed or dispatched, then as per the capacity available, what should be the start date, or if there are any changes required in the capacity, then that decision can also be taken based on this. Scheduling is the last date before production occurs. Okay, remember this is important. It is the last stage before production occurs. It specifies when labor, equipment, facilities are needed to produce or provide a service. So it specifies the time or on which the labor, equipment and facilities are needed to produce the required quantity or provide a particular service. Next is loading. Loading means allocation of the quantity of work. It is the process of allocating the quantity of work, to the processes necessary to manufacture. It uses assignment method of linear programming. Remember, this is important. Loading use assignment method of linear programming to determine allocation. The scheduling system can use infinite loading or finite loading. So there are two types of loading. One is infinite loading, another is finite loading. What does it mean? Infinite loading is jobs are assigned to work centers without regard for capacity of the work center. So without considering the capacity of the work center, we keep on assigning the works to the work centers or jobs to the work centers. Jobs are loaded at work centers according to the chosen priority rule. Priority rules are appropriate for use under the infinite loading approach. Remember, we use priority rules in case of infinite loading approach. This is also known as vertical loading. Infinite loading is also known as vertical loading. Then finite loading, it allows only as much work to be assigned as can be done with available capacity. So it considers the available capacity and assigns work according to the available capacity only. Finite loading considers the capacity of each work center and compares the processing time so that process time does not exceed capacity. This process is also known as horizontal loading. So remember, while infinite loading is known as vertical loading, finite loading is known as horizontal loading. So loading means allocating the quantity of work to the processes. Next is sequencing. Sequencing means arrangement or selection of an order. Sequencing can be defined as the selection of an order for a series of jobs to be done on a number of service facilities or like machinery to reduce the production cost. So what we are doing in sequencing, we are identifying or we are selecting an order in which the different jobs will be performed on service facilities or machinery. The objective of sequencing is to reduce the production cost. It is the process of production management which involves assigning jobs to the workstations and employees to jobs for specific period of time. So sequencing, it assigns jobs to workstations and employees to jobs. There are various sequencing rules for sequencing process. The first is first come first serve. So the job will come first will be served first. Last in first served. Earliest due date. So the job which has the earliest dispatch date will be processed first. Highest customer priority, based on the various priorities of various customers, we can use highest customer priority also. Then smallest slack, the job which has least slack or the number of works to do will be processed first. Then similar required setup, the jobs which require similar setups, similar processes will be processed first. Smallest critical ratio, shortest processing time, the job which has least processing time will be processed first. Then longest processing time, the job which has longest processing time can be served first. Sequencing problem arises when few facilities or machineries each render a different kind of service are to be assigned a number of jobs. So the problem of sequencing arises when we have fewer or limited number of machineries and a number of jobs has to be performed on these machineries, and each machinery provides a different kind of service. So when number of jobs are more than number of machineries available, then the problem of sequencing arises in such a way that the order of performing operation by the machine on each job remains unaltered. The order, we cannot change the order of work done. So in the case of sequencing, we have to keep in mind that the order should remain unaltered. That is, we cannot change the order of work to be performed as this order is predefined. The objective of sequencing is to reduce the production cost by increasing the utilization factor, that is the amount of time for which the machineries are busy. More will be the time for which machineries are busy, more will be the production, more will be the output, and hence lesser will be the production cost, higher will be the profit. So the objective of sequencing is to increase the utilization factor of machineries and hence decrease the production cost. Next is monitoring. It enables an organization to measure and analyze process performance, to identify critical process problems proactively. Proactively means identification of problems before they occur. So monitoring, it analyzes the process performance with the set standards, using data to make decisions that will improve the speed, quality and efficiency of business process. So the objective of monitoring is to improve the speed, quality and efficiency of the business process so as to achieve the set goals or objectives. It establishes links between the past, present and future actions. By monitoring process against defined goals, a project manager can access what is working and what is not working, and from there can determine what changes should be made to a project. So with the help of monitoring, we can identify that what changes have to be made so that in order to achieve the defined goals. There are several types of monitoring which include process monitoring, technical monitoring, assumptions monitoring and financial monitoring. Then we have quality management and statistical quality control. This part is important and questions frequently came from this part in the examination. Now the word quality means the perception of degree to which the product or service meets customers' expectation is known as quality. It is the degree, quality is the degree to which the product or service meets customer expectation. It is generally referred to a parameter which decides the inferiority or superiority of a product or service. Based on quality, we can say that whether a product is inferior or superior in comparison to some another product. It is a measure of goodness to understand how product meets its specifications. Quality has no specific meaning, remember, unless related to a specific function and or object. So quality is basically a relative term. Alone it has no meaning. Product is defined as the now a product means the result of activities or processes and can be tangible or intangible. Goods are tangible while services are intangible, and we may have a combination of both also. So a quality management system, QMS, is a set of policies, processes and procedures required for planning and execution, production, development services in the core business area of an organization, that is, areas that can impact the organization's ability to meet customers' requirement. This is what quality management system. A quality management system is a particular management system deriving the organization with regard to quality. It assists companies and organizations in enhancing customer satisfaction, because higher will be the quality of your good product or service, higher will be the satisfaction level of the customer. Quality management is a responsibility at all levels of management. It is not the responsibility of a single department, rather it is the responsibility of all departments, all levels of management, and involves all members of an organization. It is not the responsibility of a single member or a single department of the organization. Then we have statistical quality control, SQC. It is the term used to describe the set of statistical tools used by quality professionals. The concept of SQC was first developed by Walter A. Shewhart. Remember, Walter A. Shewhart first used the concept of statistical quality control. SQC is used to analyze the quality problems and their solutions. So this concept identifies the quality problem and their solutions also. It refers to the use of statistical method in the monitoring and maintaining of the quality of products and services. There are various benefits of SQC. These are: it provides a means of detecting error at inspection. It leads to more uniform quality of production. It improves the relationship with the customer, because better will be the quality, better will be the relations with the customers. It reduces inspection cost, because higher will be the quality, lesser will be the inspection cost. It reduces the number of rejects and save cost of material. Higher will be the quality, lesser will be the number of rejects, and lesser will be the cost of material. It provides a basis for attainable specifications. It provides out the bottlenecks and trouble spots. Bottlenecks means the problem areas. It provides a means of determining the capability of the manufacturing process. And lastly, it promotes the understanding and appreciation of quality control. There are various tools of SQC. These are descriptive statistics, statistical process control, SPC, and acceptance sampling. Descriptive statistics involves the description of quality characteristics. So it describes the descriptive statistics it describes the description of quality characteristics and relationships. SPC involves the inspection of random sample of output from process of characteristic. Acceptance sampling involves batch sampling by inspection. Now this part is important. These are SPC tools. There are various tools of SPC. These are histogram, Pareto chart, cause and effect diagram, defect concentration diagram, control chart, scatter diagram and check sheet. Remember these names? These are the statistical process control tools. Then we have quality circle. A quality circle QC is a participatory management technique that enlists the help of employees in solving problems related to their own jobs. So the employees themselves identify the techniques to solve their problems which they are facing at their workplace. It can be described as a small group of 5 to 8 employees. Remember, a quality circle is a small group of 5 to 8 employees of the same work area doing similar job or similar work that meets voluntarily and regularly to identify, analyze and resolve work related problem. So these small group of employees consisting 5 to 8 employees, they meet voluntarily basis and regularly to identify, analyze and resolve work related problems. The concept of quality circle is based on respect for human individual as against the traditional assumption based on suspicion and mistrust between management and its employee. The aim of QC is at building people, developing them, arousing genuine interest and dedication to their work to improve quality, productivity, cost reduction, etc. So these are the aims of a quality circle: to improve quality, productivity, cost reduction. Then we have total quality management, TQM. It is defined as a customer oriented process. Remember, TQM is a customer oriented process because it focuses on improving the quality and aims for continuous improvement of business operations. TQM ensures that all allied work, particularly work of employees, are toward the common goal of improving product quality or service quality as well as enhancing the production process or process of rendering of services. The key principles of TQM are commitment from the management. Their quality cannot be improved without the commitment from the top management. Employee empowerment, continuous improvement and customer focus. Remember, quality requires continuous improvement. It is not a one-time process. It is a continuous improvement process. Then we have Kaizen. Kaizen refers to the activities that continuously improve all the function and has involvement of all employees from the CEO to the assembly line workers. So this is important part of Kaizen. Kaizen involves all employees from CEO to the assembly line workers. Kaizen is a Japanese word that means improvement. So it is a Japanese word which means improvement. It means that it focuses on that anything can be improved. Kaizen is based on cooperation and commitment. It stands in contrast to approaches that use radical changes or top-down edits to achieve transformation. Kaizen is based on the belief that everything can be improved. This is important. And nothing is status and nothing is status quo. This means that nothing is fixed. There is nothing which cannot be improved, which is fixed. Everything can be improved. It involves identifying issues and opportunities, creating solutions and rolling them out and then cycling through the process again for other issues or problems that were inadequately addressed. Now, Kaizen cycle for continuous improvement, there are various steps. It has get employees involved, then find the problems. These are the steps in order of a Kaizen cycle. Get employees involved, find the problems, then create a solution based on the identification of problem, then test the solution, analyze the results, standardized, and then repeat the process, because we have seen quality is a continuous process. There are 5 frameworks of Kaizen which are known as 5S framework. It is a critical part of Kaizen system and establishes the ideal physical workplace. These 5S focus on creating visual order, organization, cleanliness and standardization to improve profitability, efficiency, service and safety. These are the 5S framework of Kaizen. These words are Japanese words and these are their English meaning. So first is SEIRE, S-E-I-R-E, that means sort or organize. Next is SEITON, S-E-I-T-O-N, that means set in order or create orderliness. Next is SEISO, S-E-I-S-O, that means shine or cleanliness. Next is SEIKETSU, S-E-I-K-E-T-S-U, that means standardized or standardized cleaning. And last is Shitsuke, S-H-I-T-S-U-K, that means sustain or discipline. So these are the 5S framework of Kaizen. Then we have benchmarking. Benchmarking means comparison. It is a process of measuring the performance of a company's product, services, policies, programs, strategies or processes against those of another business considered to be the best in the industry. So in benchmarking, we compare either a process or a product or a quality of a particular organization with another organization which is best in the industry or best in class. So we always compare with the best. The objective of benchmarking is to identify internal opportunities for improvement. The objective of benchmarking is improvement. By studying companies with superior performance, identifying what makes such superior performance possible and then comparing those processes to how own business operates, a company can implement changes that will yield significant improvement. So we compare our performance with the superior performance or the best performance and we identify that what makes such superior performance, that is we are identifying the difference between the best with ourselves and then we are trying to implement that difference in our process also so that we can also achieve that best. Two basic kinds of improvement opportunities are continuous and dramatic. Continuous improvement is incremental, involving only a small adjustment to reap sizable advances, while dramatic improvement can only come about through re-engineering and whole internal work process. So continuous improvement is step-by-step process, while dramatic improvement is radical improvement, sudden improvement. Objectives of benchmarking. These are the various objectives. To determine what and where improvements are required, we identify the area where improvements are required. To analyze how other organizations achieve their high performance levels and use this information to improve performance. There are various types of benchmarking. We have internal benchmarking, where comparison of a business process to a similar process inside the organization to acquire the best internal business practices. So we compare one process of an organization with a similar process within the same organization. Another is competitive benchmarking, direct competitor to competitor comparison of an product, service, process or method. So in this type of benchmarking, an organization compare with another organization in the industry. Then we have functional benchmarking, comparison of to similar or identical practices within the same or similar function outside the immediate industry. So here we compare even outside the particular industry in which the organization is operating. Functional benchmarking might identify practices that are superior in your functional areas in whatever industry they may exist in. Then we have generic benchmarking, broad conceptualization of unrelated business processes or function that can be practiced in the same or similar ways regardless of the industry. It is generic means without a brand. It is a pure form of benchmarking. Remember, generic benchmarking is the pure form of benchmarking out of all these four. Then we have Six Sigma concept. It is a statistical based data driven approach and continuous improvement methodology of eliminating defects. So Six Sigma focus on eliminating defects from the process in a product, process, or even a service. It was developed by Motorola. Remember, Six Sigma concept was developed by Motorola and Bill Smith in early 80s based on quality management fundamentals. Six Sigma is also known as operational excellence or zero defects or customer perfection. It is a measure of process performance with Six Sigma being the goal based on the defects per million. So how we can say that a particular process or a product is Six Sigma? To achieve Six Sigma, statistically, a process must not produce more than 3.4 defects per million opportunities. That is, if a process is generating at most 3.4 defects per million, 1 million means 10 lakh. So if there are at most 3.4 defects per million, then we will say that the process follows Six Sigma. After measuring the current performance of the process, the goal is to continuously improve the sigma level, striving towards Six Sigma. Even if the improvement do not reach to Six Sigma level, the improvement made from 3 Sigma to 4 Sigma to 5 Sigma will still reduce cost and increase customer satisfaction. So we can start from 1 Sigma to 6 Sigma. Here 1 Sigma means 6,90,000 defects per million. Okay, then 2 Sigma means 3,08,000 defects per million. Then 3 Sigma means 66,800 defects per million. Then 4 Sigma means 6,210 defects per million. 5 Sigma means 230 defects per million. And 6 Sigma means 3.4 defects per million. That means a yield of 99.99966%. So 1 million means 10 to the power 6, or we can say this is 1 million. What is 10 lakhs? The two Six Sigma sub methodologies are DMAIC and DMADV, which means the first one, DMAIC, means define, measure, analyze, improve and control. Remember this, these full forms. It is an improvement system for existing process. Remember, this process is for existing processes falling below specification and looking for incremental improvement. While the second Six Sigma process, DMADV, it stands for define, measure, analyze, design and verify. It is an improvement system to develop new process or product at Six Sigma quality. So while the first one is for existing process, second one is for new process or products. The 5 key Six Sigma principles are: focus on customer requirement, use of extensive measurement and statistical analysis to understand how work gets done and to identify the root cause of a problem or the variations. To be proactive in eliminating variation and continuously improving the process. Involving people in Six Sigma cross-functional teams. Being through and being flexible. Then we have ISO 9000 series standards. So ISO 9000 is a set of international standard on quality management and quality assurance. It is developed to help the companies to effectively document and quality system elements needed to maintain an efficient quality system in the organization. It was created by International Organization for Standardization. So this is the full form of ISO. They are not specific to any one industry and can be applied to organization of any size. So for any size of organization, for any industry, ISO certificates can be taken. It was originally introduced in 1987. So there are various certifications under ISO series. ISO 9000 refers to fundamentals and vocabulary reference in all ISO 9000 standards. ISO 9001 quality system means requirement contains the requirements an organization must comply with to become ISO 9001 certificate. So it lists all the requirements which an organization comply to become an ISO 9001 certified. ISO 9002 guidelines for the application of ISO 9001 to 2015. ISO 9004 managing for the sustained success for an organization, provides guidelines for sustaining QMS success through evaluation and performance improvement. Now we will see some of the questions from previous examination. Which of the following describes a combination of manufacturing system designed to ensure that theoretically 100% good units flow to subsequent operations? So we have been given 4 options: automation, Bakayoke, it's a Japanese term we will discuss, and Kaizen. Okay, so I have written the definition or basic meanings of these two terms. Now automation aims to prevent the production of defective products, eliminate overproduction, and focus on attention of understanding the problems and ensuring that they do not reoccur. So this is true with regard to the statement that has been given to us. Now Bakayoke is a Japanese term of foolproofing. It is a manufacturing technique of preventing mistakes by designing the manufacturing process, equipment and tools so that an operation literally cannot be performed incorrectly. So it also is in line with the given statements. So option A and C are the right option which are given in the third code. So this is the right answer for the given question. Match the following product categories and quality certification marks. So we have been given some products and quality certification mark. We have to identify the correct match. So the first is gold and silver jewelries. So for gold and silver jewelries we use BIS hallmark. Here BIS stands for Bureau of Indian Standards. Okay, BIS stands for Bureau of Indian Standards. These are used to ensure the quality of gold and silver jewelries. So BIS is used for gold and silver jewelries. Then agriculture product. For this we use AgMark. AgMark stands for agricultural marketing. So for agricultural product we use AgMark certification. For industrial products we use ISI mark. Here ISI stands for Indian Standard Institution. It is used in case of industrial product. Then for processed and processed food products we use FPO mark. Here FPO refers to Fruit Products Order. So the correct match according to this, for A we have third, then for B we have fourth, for B we have fourth. So accordingly option 4 is the right option. For C we have 1 here also, and for D we have 2. So this is the right match for the given question. Which among the following is a correct statement? Kaizen, in other words, is total quality management. This is wrong. Kaizen means continuous improvement. So statement 1 is wrong. TQM is best explained with the help of Deming triangle. Yes, this is true. The principle of TQM was given by Edward Deming. He lists out 14 principles of total quality management, and he also gave a TQM triangle. A TQM triangle is like this. Here we have quality. Here we have scientific approach. And here we have all one team. So this is how a Deming triangle looks like. So the concept of TQM was given by Deming. So option 2 here is the right option. We will also check another options. Production management is one of the variable of TQM equation. No, TQM is a principle of production management. Production management is not a variable of TQM. Michael Hammer and James Champy have given the concept of TQM. No, this is wrong. I have told you The concept of TQM was given by Edward Deming. So these statements are also wrong. So option 2 is the right option here. Then just in time, originally developed in 1970s by a Japanese company, was initially known as just in time is a inventory management technique. It was given by Toyota company, a Toyota car manufacturing company in Japan, and hence initially it was also known as Toyota production or Toyota manufacturing system. So option 4 is the right answer here. So students, if you are preparing for IIT JAM, CSIR NET or NT UGC NET, then you can buy study material from Edunkle. This will definitely help you to crack your examination. You can also download the app of Edunkle from a Google Play Store. On this app, you will find a support of 200 plus 250 trained and experienced faculties, which will help you to solve your queries and to crack your examinations. Thank you very much.